Hi everyone, Wildlife Wong, the hero of the book, is here to answer all the other questions that we didn't manage to get to in the book launch. Hi Wong, how are you?
Good, Sarah. How are you?
Oh, really good. Really good. So we've got a lot of different questions that we didn't manage to get to in our short book launch. The first one is from Aisha, says, will Dr. Wong help save other bears?
Well, I I cannot promise. I have been working with American black bears and grizzly bear the time when I study in United States in Montana. I spent 4 summers working with U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, trapping bears, and also tracking bears and other black bears and grizzly bear related works.
Hmm.
And then in terms of other bear species from now on, I think I would hesitate unless I mean, if I have
You've
more
really
time,
got your hands full, haven't you, with sun
yes,
bears,
yes, yeah.
And sun
So
bears are probably the most endangered of the bears, aren't they?
yes, the least known and the most the bears that need most work compared to other bear species, because the people who work with sun bear, either studying sun bears or do conservation work on sun bears, are still very, very limited.
Mm,
Yeah, it's until now it's pretty much you can count it by your one hand or at most
yeah.
two hands, so very, very few. So
So
I have to
few of
be
them. It's just incredible, isn't it?
yes, I have to stay focused and
Yeah.
continue working with Sunbear. And hopefully, the works that I do can inspire more people and they will pick up to save other bear species.
That's
Yeah.
true. We need all these young wildlife warriors to become scientists. That's what we need. Our next
Yes.
question is from Irene and Taylor in Canada.
Sarah, I cannot hear you. Oh, okay.
You
You're
got me?
back. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Irene and Taylor in Canada have asked, are the bears found at zoos usually bears that can't be released?
Well, depends. So if it is sun bears or other different species of bears,
I think they're talking
she
more about sun bears.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So those bears that are found across Southeast Asia in zoos mostly are the end products of poachings and rescue by the authority, and at the end they end up in zoos. And then so those animals are not going through any kind of rehabilitation process so far. There's very, very few people across Southeast Asia doing sun bears rehabilitation work. And beside me, I know there are several people in the past have done sun bear release, including West Malaysia, including Indonesia. Yeah, have done that, but not many. And then
Yeah. The other thing to add to that,
hmm,
Ron, it's another thing to add to that. I know that Marley, the sun bear at the Wildlife HQ on the Sunshine Coast, has been trained to do things with humans so that it's easier to
mm,
take care of her. So
yes.
she will open her mouth so she can have her teeth cleaned, for instance. And that's not good behavior when you're trying to release a bear, is it?
Yeah, so usually those kind of bears we have to, and I mean you have to spend the rest of their life in zoo,
Yeah.
and what we can do first is to take care of their animal welfare, make
Yeah.
sure we take good care of them and use them as an education tool, use them as the ambassador of a sun bear as a
Good.
species to educate the rest of the world about these amazing bears.
That's good. Colleen wonders if you've ever been injured by a sun bear. I know you have. So do you want to tell them that story?
Have I been beaten by sun bears?
Injured.
Injured? Yes, I did. So I think, but not from the bears at our center. So that was many, many years ago. Before, it was back in 2007. No, 2006. Before I set up this Boden Samay Conservation Center, I released a rescue bear that was kept here at the times is the Sepilo Orangutan Rehabilitation
Yeah.
Center. And then I released her in my study area. And then and of course she was used to human food. And I released her in the forest wearing a radio collar. And then the next day go and track her down. I
Yeah.
found her, and of course she was like not eating human food for one day. She was hungry.
She
I
was
gave her
hungry.
dog food.
Yeah.
Yeah, and after she finished her dog food, she want more, and I don't have more. And I realized that there's no metal bars in between me and her.
Yeah.
And
So she
she,
wasn't
yeah,
hungry.
and then she give me a little punishment bite, not like attack, just a punishment. I mean, if
Yeah.
you have dogs, you'll know, if the dogs are like mad at you for some reason, they will do a little nip, a kind of a punishment bite, but not an attack bite. So she did a, yeah, the nip on me, and
I
of
mean,
course that nip.
they are dangerous creatures too, and it must be remembered that, mustn't it? That
Yes, yes, yeah,
they're not pets, and
yeah,
they
they are
are
not pets.
yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. But that is not, I mean, that wound is not serious. It bruises for several days and not a
Yeah,
puncture wound or something like that.
yeah,
And then it's just, the communication between me and the bears. So I need to
yeah,
receive, and I received that message well.
yeah.
Okay. So that was the only
That's the only time.
only time. And then the rest are like scratching on my hands when we play. I mean, when we,
Mm,
rehabilitated sun bear cubs, that happens all the time. That
yeah,
is not like attack or
no,
big, just a process of growing up, because they are equipped with big claws, sharp claws, and our
yeah,
human skins are hopeless. We have the thinnest or the
very
most fragile skin
true.
among all the large mammal. That
Really
is
true.
serious. Yeah.
That's true. We've got a couple of questions again from Budrum School from the 4J classroom. They've asked a couple. What is the ratio of babies to adults that you rescue? And is Borneo stopping or reducing deforestation, which is destroying their home?
Okay, so first questions, the ratio, that is a good questions. Okay, so Burden Salmon Conservation Center has been here for 13 years. And then the first 5 years or so, we have literally uh, rescue all of the adult bears that was kept as a pets or being exhibited in like mini zoos, crocodile farm across Sabah. So at that times, almost all of the bears that we rescue are adults.
Yeah.
And then only after that, the bears that we rescue are cubs. So I would say out of the 65 sun bear that we have rescued, maybe half were cub, and then the other half were adult.
So
Although
about half
maybe
and
the
half.
adults will have more. Yeah,
Yeah. Awesome.
yeah,
And what
yeah.
is Malaysia doing to actually help reduce deforestation?
Okay, so Malaysia have set up national policy to keep 50% of the total land area as forested area. Okay, so so
That's huge.
so
You know,
com-
I mean, the kids probably don't understand what that means, but in
okay.
Australia, we've got such a very small percentage of protected land that to
Mm,
protect half of it is actually a huge thing to
yes.
promise, isn't it?
Yeah, so this is the commitment from the governments to keep 50% of the total land area as forest.
Yeah,
And it's a big commitment compared to other Southeast Asian country, neighboring country. So we hope we can seek a balance between protecting the forest as well as to meet the humans' needs for natural resources, for land use, and so on and so forth. And
yeah,
one thing for sure, we need to make good use of the forest
mm,
for so-called the sustainable utilization, so that we can generate revenues from this forest. Say, for example, ecotourisms,
yeah.
nature-based tourisms is a huge industry, and we can seek and reach the balance between humans' needs as well as
Yes.
nature needs as well.
Tourism
Hopefully
has an
it
amazing part
works.
to play, doesn't it? And for all those people who are watching, you know, if when we can get back to travel to Borneo actually helps sunbears, because the money that goes into the tourism industry helps people have jobs working in the tourism industry and working in conservation as well, doesn't it? So
Yes,
a really good way out of some of our problems.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, nature-based tourism or ecotourism is a very important for conservation, because it provides jobs, so that those poor people, do not need to become a poachers. They can work with the tourism industry as a tour guide, as whoever workers in this lodges and places like that, and then yeah, and reach a win-win
Yeah,
situation for everybody.
very true. We've got a
Mm.
couple of questions that are very similar. One from Barbara and one from Colleen. Um, actually, I think it's Angelica who's asking what inspired us to spread awareness and help sun bears. And Colleen asks, why are we so passionate about the plight of the sun bears? So I might start with that one, hey, that for me, when I first met Wong, I asked him what I could do to help because I could see that this was a major problem. And Wong is very clever, said, do what you do best. So those 5 powerful words have led me on a bit of a journey to help Wong and help with awareness of sun bears. I'm doing that with a pen because that's what I do best. But obviously, I'm not out there in the jungles like Wong is, hands-on protecting bears. There are so many different ways to do it, aren't there, Wong? There's being a scientist like you, or being a writer like me, or being a filmmaker like Chris Morgan, or whatever. There's lots of different ways to help. Over to you. What do
Yeah,
you think?
absolutely, absolutely. For me, I'm doing what I do best to help
Mm,
the sun bears. Exactly the same 5 words. Do
yeah,
what I do
absolutely.
best because I was trained as a wildlife biologist.
Yeah.
I love animals since my childhood. It is in my heart.
Mhm.
And I have a lot of experience, working with animals, and this is what I do best. And then I was given this opportunity to work with sun bears, and I stick with it. And the longer I work with sun bears, the more knowledge, experience, passions, and love all accumulating into one body to a point where I cannot turn my blind eyes to all the problems that the sun bear face. And I have to face, all these challenges. And I'm really glad that people like you, like Chris Morgan, and many, many people who do their best to help me achieve our goal. And this is not, because saving sun bears is not the job for one person, but it's a collective efforts, and we can do it together. I cannot do it all by myself, cannot. Yeah.
No, no,
So
absolutely not. So we've got a question from Oscar too, who asks you if you studied other animals before sun bears.
yes, I did. I did. So before I start my undergraduate degree in University of Montana, I actually work as a research assistant. I actually work as a research assistant in Taiwan, studying the Formosan Reef's muntjac or bucking deer. It's a type of small deer. Adult is maybe about what uh 10 kilos for a
Very
male.
small, isn't it? Very
Yeah, relatively small bears, small deer in the
yeah.
mountain area of Taiwan. And at the times I was working with the Aborigines people. The professor that I work with is from UC Berkeley and National Pingtung University of Science and Technology, the Professor Curtis Pay. And then, so I was the research assistant, and that's how I learned the skill of first living in the forest, working in the forest, and working with wildlife, and understand their behaviors, understand the technique and things like that. So it's a cumulative experience to be what
And
I
you
am
also
today.
worked with bearded pigs. Don't forget those as well.
Yes, and my doctorate degree is
Yeah.
actually studying the bearded pigs in the islands of Borneo. And right now, bearded pigs are having a big trouble, Sarah. I'm not sure
Are
whether
they?
you know.
No, I
The,
don't. Tell me more.
the African swine fever are wiping out the bearded pigs, the wild bearded pigs in Sabah.
Oh no.
Many, many bearded pig die in mass number that never happened before. It is
Oh no.
scary, and it is happening right now.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
sad.
so
Okay, well,
yeah,
that
so
means
it's
we
really
might
bad.
have to. We've got a book planned, Wildlife Wong and the Bearded Pig, so we might have to
Mm.
bump that one up the list somewhere, hey, to tell a bit more of the
Yes,
story
yes,
of the
yeah, yeah. I think
bearded
I think
pig.
that is very, very, very,
Yeah.
very relevant, and it's happening right now. And
Wow.
and this is, I think, this would be the biggest threats that they ever face.
Right. Wow.
Looking at the landscape, looking at how many animals are being affected, and the mortality rate of this fever is 95%.
Wow.
Yeah, they have no chance. Yeah,
Oh dear, that's very sad news.
yeah, very,
Um,
very scary.
Sienna's asking how many other types of bears are there in Malaysia?
There's only one type, yeah, one species and two subspecies. The one on Borneo, Sabah and Sarawak is the Bornean sun bear.
Yeah.
The one in Peninsular Malaysia or West Malaysia is the Malayan sun bear. Yes.
So this is a subspecies, isn't it?
Yes.
And we've got a question from Harvey who says, what's the difference then between a sun bear and a moon bear?
Okay, so first of all, they are completely different species. Okay, morphologically, you can see the sun bear is much more smaller than the moon bear. All right, so like the Bornean sun bear, the adult male weigh about 50 kilograms, and then for the moon bear, adult male can weigh up to 150 kilogram or 120 kilograms. So they are much more bigger, and the sun bear have shorter fur. Sun bear have thick, short fur, and then the moon bear is like long hair bear, shaggy bears with
Hairy,
big ears as well. Yeah, very, very hairy, long hair with big ear, and then sun bear with small, really small ear, really short fur. So you can tell. And then, yeah, and both of them have the chest patch.
Yeah, we've
What?
got a question about that. We've got a questions about the markings that sun bears have from Trevor, who also wants to know if moon bears are called moon bears because they can see in the dark. So you've got a couple of moon bear questions.
Okay, I'm not sure whether moon bears is called moon bear because they can see in the dark. But one thing for sure is the crescent is a chest patch. For the moon bear, all of them have this crescent-shaped chest patch.
Yes.
Whereas the sun bear's chest patch come in all different kind of shapes, including the U shape, including the V shape, including the round shapes, including patches, dots, and one of the reasons why
they look like an eclipse too, don't they? So
yes,
they might have even got the name because it looks a bit like an eclipse. Who knows?
yes, it's like a solar eclipse. You know, the round shape with the rays coming out is absolutely amazing.
Have you ever, this is from Colleen, have you ever had to hurt a sun bear?
Have I ever have to hurt a sun bear?
Yeah.
Hurt one? I think, of course, you know, hurting animals is not on my agenda.
No.
And then at the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Center, after we operate for 13 years, we have to put down one bears that we rescue. I think the meaning of you say hurting is put down there. Yes, we have to put down one bears that we rescue as an adult. She was so malnourished. She had a very serious calcium deficiency. She has serious osteoporosis to a point where her hip bones have cracks. Oh. She cannot wake, she cannot walk, she can only lay, and she cannot feed herself. We have to sedate her and tube feeding her when she first came. For the first few days, it was horrible. Oh. And then after we did the x-ray and found out that she got a cracked hips, and then her bones was very, very thin. Wow. Very, very malnourished and very, very, you know, bad food for in captivity for a long time. And that's the point where our vets and also collective decisions is to put her down and put her out of this misery. So that's the only bears that we have put down after, I mean, the rescue bear. Yeah.
So Trevor also asked how big do some bears grow to then? So the Malayan subspecies are smaller, but how big do they actually grow?
Okay, so the Malayan subspecies is much double the size of our bears in Borneo. An adult male can weigh up to, I think the heaviest that I heard of is 120 kilograms in a zoo.
Okay.
Yeah, so those bears in, say, for example, Cambodian, in free-to-birth facilities, some of them can, you know, easily go up to 100 kilograms. And then in the wild, the one that they capture and studied in West Malaysia, I think one is like 88 kilograms. And then here in Borneo, the heaviest, the biggest obese sun bears in captivity is like 60 kilograms that I come across.
Wow. So how many bears have you actually encountered, you think? There's about 65 at the center, and then there were another 6 or 7 during your research. Is there?
No, there are about more than 10 that I've radio collar 6 bears during the time when I did my master project on
Yeah.
to study the ecology of Malayan sun bear. And then I radio collar 4 bears during my doctorate study. So, so in total, 10 different wild sun bears that I work with. Yeah.
And then the 65 at the center.
And then the 65 at the center.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then other research projects like say Rosh Hans. There was one time when he caught a wild sun bear in Kinabatangan, and I also help him to radio collar that bears. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, interesting. And then there was the wild bear that you looked after at the center, but that's a whole nother story.
Mm.
Why were sun bears originally captured? Colleen is asking.
Well, well, this is the problem of humans. This is the
Mm.
problem of humans' greediness and want to build their own, make their own happiness and building the pain on other species. Okay, because sun bear cubs are so cute,
Yeah.
just like other infant mammals or infant animals. And right now, especially people have this hobby of keeping exotic pets.
Yeah.
And the sun bears, imagine that this is the smallest bear species in the world and found in Southeast Asia, where most people do not have a particular feeling of, you know, recognize human animal have rights, and
Yeah.
they treat animals in this part of the world as a commodity that can build their happiness on others animals pain.
Yeah.
And then they don't realize that it is against the law. So people keep some bears as pets, and at the same time they are profit can be made.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The gap
Very
between
true.
the rich and the poor is so big. So the rich willing to pay a lot of money to get a sun bear cub, although it is illegal. And then the poor poachers, I'm so sorry for their, you know, for them to be poor, are willing to risk to capture or kill the mother first and capture a cubs and supply to the pet trades market in order to make profit out of this young baby. Yeah.
So when a animal is captured and sent to a zoo around the world, Janelle and India are wondering, how do they adapt to the different climates around the world?
Oh, okay. So that is a very good question, because in the past we have so this was before when Summit Conservation was set up.
Yeah.
Back in 1919, the year 2000 and 1996, there was a total of 20 bears being sent from here. Here means the Sepilo Orangutan Rehabilitation Center to US zoos.
Yeah.
And I've managed to visit some of them that live in US Zoo. Say, for example, the one in Seattle, Woodland Park Zoo. And
Okay.
obviously, Seattle is a lot cooler
Yeah.
than here in the tropical. And the bears obviously is a tropical species and not adapted to that kind of coldness or that kind of dampness. So the bears are not, I'm sure they are not, I mean, they don't have the long fur to keep themselves warm. They don't have the down, the undercoat to keep themselves warm.
Yeah.
So the zoo will have to do a lots of things, a lots of, you know, facilities to keep the bears warm, the animal warm
And humid,
during
yes,
winter time.
because they're used to humidity too. They're not used to
Yes,
dry climate.
yeah. And also they are not like other North American bears that go through the hibernation during winter time.
Yeah.
So the bears are kept awake through the winter by having extra heat, heating appliances, you know, the light lamp, the heating lamps and everything in their lamp to keep the animals warm. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, just like me, when I first went to Montana, it's like freezing cold, and I need to equip with myself with like 4 layers of pants, 4 layers of you know, shirt, and keep myself warm and things like that. It's
not easy, is it?
mm.
Oh, those are wonderful answers. They really are. We've got a couple of last minute questions about how do people keep engaged with us. So one question from Trevor and his class is, how does his class join the Saving Sun Bears book club? So Trevor, what I'd suggest you do, and anyone else who'd like to join the Saving Sun Bears book club, we actually have an online book club once a month where Wong and I meet with people who've read Saving Sun Bears and Wildlife Wong and the Sun Bears. So you're very welcome to join in. All you have, the best way to do it is to send me an email, I think, through my website, sarahrpye.com. And then I'll give you all the details how to do that. Our next one is actually on the 10th of this month. So it's coming up pretty quickly. Also, the question from Christy is, where do we get the books again? So books are available through all major bookshops. We like supporting independent bookshops. There also will soon be available through the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre online shop. For those people in Malaysia, that's the best option. For other people around the world, they're also available through Amazon, and you can get them in ebook or in hard copy book. So that's probably the easiest way for people who aren't close in Malaysia or on the Sunshine Coast. Last question from Christy as well is, can we email you our pictures and ask more questions? Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yes.
So yeah, contact me through my website, or you can contact Wong through the Sun Bear Centre website, which is, do you want to give us that one, Wong?
Yes, so our website is www.bsbcc.org.my, or look me up on my social media like my Facebook or my Instagram, Wong Siew Te. Search for that, WONGSIEWTE, and you can send me your questions or message there, and I can answer you. Yeah,
absolutely. And the same for me. I have Sarah Pye Facebook group. We've got Instagram. We've also got another group called Saving Sun Bears on Facebook. If anyone wants to join that and learn all about sun bears until you've learned everything you need, you can also do it on there as well. So there's a number of different ways to get hold of us. We're happy also to talk to you in your classroom, aren't we, Wong? So we can also arrange other things. And Wong, we didn't mention it, but Wong has just started doing virtual tours of the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre. Those are available to you too, to actually join him on a walk around the Sun Bear Centre and actually in real time meet some of the bears, which is a very cool thing to do.
Yeah, and also you can ask me questions live so that I can interact with you. So it's a very good experience. Yeah. And you can learn more about this virtual tour from visiting our website. Yeah.
Awesome. So we thank you so much for all those amazing questions. It's been wonderful to launch the Wildlife Wong and the Sun Bear. There will be other books coming. There's going to be 9 in all once we finish. But I've got to get writing them first, so I'll let you know. Don't forget, kids, if you're listening, to join the Wildlife Wong Kids Club at sarahrpye.com. And you've got all sorts of extra stuff that you can use there, download, all free stuff, free videos, free nature journal, and all sorts of things there. So yeah, we can't wait to interact with you more and and answer all your questions, can we?
Yes, anytime. Great.
Thank you so much, guys, and thank you so much, Wong, for being here today.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah, and thank you everybody for your lovely questions. Bye.